for the mayor / governor of Deacon's Bend, Mayor Decius. You were asked to go out into the woods and take care of some sort of creature or person who was getting too close to the village and making shows of it. You discovered that this person was some kind of cultist that was torturing animals as part of a ritual. They shapeshifted and you guys fought. After killing the person, you brought her corpse back to town and you were each paid 25 gold for your trouble. It was a pretty rough fight, and a couple of you were pretty badly injured. So you came back to the tavern to try and relax. You met a furious, just awful dwarf named Renzo, who got all up in people's faces. You also chatted with Ara about the town. Immelrith, you tried to get more out of her about the church, but you couldn't really do it. She didn't know much. Hang on. She didn't know much. So with that in mind, you guys were evening was stealing upon you, and some of you had already started up to the stairs to go to bed. The rest of you had settled in for the evening downstairs to try and relax. When Greer walked in, he looked sweaty, and he talked strangely, demanding water. When he got into the tavern and sat down, he talked for a little bit, getting increasingly agitated and insisting that it was very hot in the tavern when it was not so. Eventually, he began to transform. His head turned around on his neck until it was upside down. His shoulders bent inward. And this awful scream eventually erupted from his mouth, which Gray, you and Immelrith would have heard from downstairs as he just... Pardon your earphones. That got louder than I expected. And he looks prepared to attack. Because you guys were upstairs, and why is your token not... Did you click your token before you clicked initiative?
No, I didn't realize I needed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big deal this time. Please remember in the future, because it saves me a little bit of time from having to add it manually.
I don't think I did that either, actually.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay.
Not a big deal. If it's just one or two people, it's not a big deal. When I have to do that for everybody, it slows me down. So, Gray and Immelrith, you were considered surprised for this first round because you were not down there to see this happen. You hear the scream, but as you have to prepare to go downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
The Gibbering Mouther is up first. So, two things. As this creature finishes transforming, it's basically become a lump of flesh with limbs kind of extending from its front, pressed against the ground. The ground around it is strange looking now. There's some sort of corruption spreading from its feet, its clawed feet, to the wood around it. The wood grows warped and looks like it's softened. And this extends about 10 feet away from the Mouther, making that around it difficult terrain. The other thing about the Mouther that you should know is that you cannot use the disengage action with it. It will always get an attack of opportunity if you try to flee out of its range, because of this difficult terrain.
Okay.
So, it's up first. It when it moves, it flows. It doesn't it doesn't take one limb in front of the other. The whole lump of flesh rolls forward in this awful, awful rush, and it reaches for Dorman. As its limb extends, you see teeth forming on the inner parts of the limb as though it's generated itself a new mouth.
Oh, that's horrifying.
It's a 21 hit.
Yes.
You take 20 piercing damage.
Okay.
Wow.
Um,
That's probably not good.
yeah, that's I'm down.
Okay.
Dorman!
It then it then begins to babble. You hear among the words flowing out of it that it's just this incoherent flood of words in a tongue you don't understand. But all of you within 20 feet of it need to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
Even people who are unconscious.
No, you don't.
Cool.
Have to.
Thank you.
Oscar, you fail.
Oh.
And I'm going to roll for
Apotham's the only one, yeah. He's also not an initiative.
Oh, yep. I need to fix that. He passes. Okay. Okay. And you'll find out what that does on your next turn, Oscar.
Okay, man.
The gibbering fills your ears, and actually, Dorman, make a death saving throw, please.
Yep, one moment. That's a failure.
Okay. You got one failure. Aura needs to be in the initiative. She also needs to make a wisdom saving throw. She would have gone before the gibbering mouth. Oh well. Yeah, she passes. All right. Ilmarith, you hear this commotion begin downstairs, and you begin preparing to head downstairs to find out what the hell's going on.
My ears perk up, jump out of my trance.
Oscar, I need you to roll me a d8, please.
I don't like the sound of that.
You may take your turn normally.
I'm going to. My brow's down. I can't have my mysterious masked compatriot going down.
Thank you.
I'm going to cast a healing. Oh man, that sucks, but okay. Yeah, I'll cast a healing word. It's a bonus action, which sucks. But it will heal you for 7. It was a nice roll.
Ooh, back up.
So that's my bonus. I can't Bardic Inspiration because it's also a bonus, which kind of sucks, but that's okay.
Cast a cantrip or stab the thing?
Yeah,
Shoot it.
I think I'm gonna cantrip the thing. I have vicious mockery. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna take many steps away from this thing, and then once I'm nice and far away, I'm gonna talk a lot of shit about how it looks like some cat food I ate last night.
Okay.
He has to make a DC 13 Wisdom save.
Got you. He crits.
So nothing
It turns to you and just the bounty, the bounty. It's Potham's turn. Dorman, you are prone, but you're up, right? You're conscious.
Yes.
Okay. Potham moves to one side and going to make a rapier attack. That hits. Plus 1d6 because it's sneaking. I love his character sheet. His ideals just say steal to survive.
Potham's?
Yeah, that's a Potham. Straight up.
That's a Potham for you to.
He, God help him, he built a character. Terrell, it is your turn.
He did still call it a Potham though.
Yes. Well, he called it not a Potham.
Wow. That's still a Potham.
All right, we're gonna move. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 3. Yeah. Let's take the old swingy swing.
That is a hit.
All right, and then as my bonus action, I am going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay.
Concentration, or I can click on it, can I?
Yep.
Oh god, he is.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Now we're back at the top of the order. Gray, it is your turn.
I'm just gonna assume that this sound down there is like someone not taking a wench back to their room or something like that,
Okay.
or someone being offended, unless otherwise knowing otherwise.
You do hear like the sound of like tearing flesh because it did tear into Dorman.
It was also like a blood curdling shriek, an inhuman sound. Chesley recreated it well.
I do that by doing like a vocal fry and then breathing in.
BTS
that-
action.
Stole that from Gullah Gullah Island, actually.
A Gullah Gullah
Like that fucking like
Guess I'll head up.
yellow frog or whatever.
Binya Pollywog, motherfucker.
So let's see here. I forget what it is. Be the step. It's not space.
It's
Is
the
it
arrow
all?
keys to make step motions.
The arrow keys? What?
Yeah, like if you want to move a token.
There's a way you can like track your movements, but I don't remember how to do it.
Oh, you mean like this?
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I'm poor at explaining this. Click your token.
Yeah.
Your token is selected.
Yeah.
Click and hold your token.
Yeah.
Hit Q.
Q?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then you hit space, isn't it?
No, you hit Q and then you right click to set a waypoint. To basically set a point where you
hit Q
change
again.
directions.
Okay. Yeah. No, I got it. Yeah, it's just hitting Q over and over again to track the steps and stuff like that. If I want to put a point to it or whatever.
Yep.
So yeah. So I'm gonna step down here, see this thing, because I'm just like, what is going on down? And this, like, my eyes kind of get wide.
Which no one can see because you're wearing a mask.
It depends. Was I going up to go to sleep?
Yeah, you were. It sounded like.
Okay. So I have my probably still my jacket on, but my hood is up and my face would be exposed.
Oh,
Go over that.
excellent. What did people see?
We will go over that later.
Okay.
That's literally what I just said. All right. I will shoot a firebolt at this thing.
Okay.
So
That is a hit for a full 10 damage. Your firebolt slams into its shifting flank, flames rushing up over the semi-liquid flesh, badly searing the pale skin of it. And Gray Malikov, you haven't had a lot of these dreams yet, but I need everyone who had the dream next to the campfire to roll me a perception check.
I think I did.
Oscar did. I believe Terrell did. I believe Dorman was really the only one who didn't.
Because I was awake.
Do I even count? I'm in the damn room.
No, you don't. You're not yet out there yet.
Only Apotham Phantom wasn't with us.
Okay. I'll roll it for Apotham. No, perception, not performance. There we go. That something about this creature feels, against all reason, familiar, and you can't quite piece it together. It is Aura's turn.
one sec. I'm going to use my flexible casting and turns my sorcery points into a spell slot.
Got it. It is done. Anything else?
No, that'd be it.
Okay. Sorry for stepping on you there.
No, you're fine.
Aura, seeing this, by the time this thing starts moving, she is already ducked down behind the bar. She comes back up with a crossbow and levels it at this thing and says, "Not my bar!" It says dagger. It should be crossbow. That is a hit with sneak attack. She does 13 damage to it. This thing's starting to look.
Crossbow.
This thing's still starting to look real bad. It's going to try and chew on. It's going to try and chew on Terrell. 20 hits, I think.
That's a tie because of my
Yep.
spell. Is that a hit?
Yep.
I can
Ties
never
a
keep that
hit.
stuff together.
Yeah, ties are hits. It's DC.
You take 15 piercing damage.
I'm down.
All right. And actually, I'm sorry, I should have had you do this before. I need Dorman and Terrell roll me Constitution saving throws. Terrell, you're fine.
Thank you, Sam. I have another.
Oh dear.
The dice don't like me today.
Dorman, you begin to feel strange.
Lovely.
But you can't really quite place why you feel strange. It is your turn. Remember that you cannot take the disengage action due to the fact that the ground feels soft and uneven beneath your feet.
Oh, I forgot about that. There goes that plan. How much health do I have again? 7. Lovely.
Oh, last fucking thing. This thing has so much bullshit with it. Everybody needs to roll a wisdom saving throw who's still conscious, which does not include Terrell, and actually it doesn't include Oscar or Gray, because they are not within 20 feet of it.
That was a wisdom.
Yep. DC 10. You're good.
There we go.
Ooh, thank you.
And Apotham is fine. What about Aura? Aura's fine. Everybody's passing their goddamn wisdom saves. No fun.
Do I eat the opportunity attack or no, he's definitely gonna hit me. So instead, what I am going to do is I'm going to stand up. Half my movement doesn't really matter. I'm not moving away. And wait, shit, we've had a short rest since that last encounter, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. My spells are back. Otherwise, I'd be truly fucked. I am going to cast Fairy Fire. It's
Okay.
a 20-foot cube, which I will say I will shape it so that it includes me and the gibbering mouther, but nobody else. I can't opt out of this.
Okay.
Um,
It has to roll a dexterity saving throw, correct?
yes, it's to beat up 13, so it's not terrible, but hopefully it'll fuck up.
It does not beat a 13.
Whew, okay, so it is now outlined in green dancing flames. Basically, it's outlined in that. And for the duration, for as long as I can concentrate on it for up to a minute, in the attack roll against the affected creature, namely it or myself, because I'm also outlined, has advantage if the attacker can see it, and if basically it also cannot benefit from being invisible if it decides to try that.
Got it. Okay. At the end of your turn, please make me another Constitution saving throw. DC 12. You begin to feel worse.
As long as I can keep the spell up long enough for a couple of people to get hits off, I whatever.
Okay. Immelrith, it is your turn.
I'm gonna casually walk out of the room. I get about there, and lean up against the railing and look down. And do I have an angle over not Apotham for a witch bolt on the grotesque creature?
Yes.
So I'm going to, while I'm leaned up on the railing, yawn and put my hand over my mouth, and then stand up straight and send an arc of blue lightning at the guy.
Okay. That is a hit.
I made it.
Hey, Apotham.
Yo,
Your
character's holding his own right now.
Yeah, you're the next contestant on getting one hit by the slime monster.
Yay! Which one are we doing again?
The bounty.
Thanks.
No problem. You establish this arc of blue lightning between yourself and the creature that subsists even after the initial bolt strikes into that heaving, fleshy flank. The entire creature is alight with the fairy fire, and now with electricity jittering along its outline. It is twitching horribly beneath the assault. Oscar Mao, it is your turn. Roll me another d8, please.
Crit success.
That is not a crit success.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm going to do something that is.
Kill him. Kill him.
I'm going to do something that is. I'm just trying to be fair. So
That's cool. No, I'm just fucking with you.
no. What I'm about to make you do.
Okay. Am I like
Heads.
a dog now?
Heads gray, tails Terrell. On. One is heads, two is tails.
1D coin.
I rolled a 1d2, and it's taking its fucking sweet time rolling it, of course. Where's your fucking... I have a coin in here somewhere.
I mean, you can roll any die and just do odds and evens.
Yep.
What if it doesn't roll by the time he gets back and flips a coin?
Oh, now it rolls it. Tails is Terrell. Oscar, rage washes over your mind. They came into your land. They invaded. They're changing your people. These disgusting creatures know nothing of your majesty, and they must be put down. And so you stalk your way. Do you have a rapier or a dagger?
No check. I don't think I've used my melee weapon yet. I have a dagger. Thank
You
God.
stalk your way towards Terrell, slipping your dagger out of its sheath, and you fall upon his unconscious form, attempting to finish him off. Roll me an attack roll. If it is a natural 20, you deal 2. You cause him to immediately fail 2 death saves. No,
I
just
tried.
1.
19. I was trying.
Terrell, you immediately fail 1 death save as he slams a dagger into your side beneath your armor, into your unconscious body.
Ah, not cool, bro.
Holy shit.
The gibbering fills your ears and prevents coherent thought, Oscar, and you are having a hard time fighting it off. Go ahead and roll me another DC 10 Wisdom save with disadvantage.
Okay.
I guess we know why he's called Oscar now.
The gibbering continues, and you are unable to get control of
Okay,
yourself.
I'm a gibberer now. Okay.
Not Apotham, it is your turn.
No, man.
You are standing behind a creature that is basically a lump of ever-shifting flesh with 2 long limbs erupting out of its front. This creature used to be Greer.
Oh, what? Wait,
This
wait. What? No, oh, I like that guy.
Nobody else did. Holy shit!
I liked him because he was mean. Do I have anything I can use to set him on fire?
I don't. Jay.
Hey, I'm keeping voice chat serious, but text chat.
No,
That's a different
that's
story.
fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. Apotham, I don't think you have anything that you can set him on fire with.
No,
Not
I
any
don't.
spells. I know your first instinct is to fireball everything, but you don't have it yet.
Sorry, my boss texted me. Let's see here.
This thing's looking pretty bad. It's got electricity running over the surface of it, and fairy fire is clinging to it, which means you have advantage on any attacks you make.
All right, I'm gonna. Can I take like a full attack action and get 2, or how
No.
does?
Nope,
No,
you
just
get
the
the one
one.
attack in 5e. Or
Just the one.
I will say this: you can attack twice in 5e, but you use your bonus action to attack with an offhand weapon. Does that make sense?
As long
Yeah.
as you're wielding a light weapon in both hands.
Yep.
No, it sounds
Would
like
you-
I'm gonna be getting a second rapier at some point. So,
Rapier isn't a light weapon; it's a finesse weapon.
does that not count?
Nope.
Can I not use finesse? Oh, so it's
You
even
can't
stupider.
use a bonus action to attack with an offhand weapon unless it's a light weapon. Unless you have for it,
Unless-
that allows you to fight with 2 primary weapons that are not light.
What is that, like multi-weapon fighting?
It's like dual wielding or something like that.
Yeah, it's a
Oh.
feat. We'll get there.
Anyway, I rolled a 19. Oh no,
that
I
is-
22 technically, I guess.
That is a hit. And God damn it, Dorman. That is a hit. And you also get to roll sneak attack. So roll 1d6.
Oh, okay.
I had an energy drink just before this game started, and I'm feeling good. Total of 9 damage. Yeah, this thing's looking real bad. Terrell, roll me a death saving throw, please.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know when. It's the first one.
No, the first one is right on the money. You have 1 success.
And 1 failure, right?
Yep.
1 failure, 1 success.
So you got to get 3 success. I see what's going on now. Okay.
If you roll a nat 20, you immediately stabilize. If you roll a nat 1, you take 2 death saving, or you take 2 failures.
Ah, shit.
So, Gray Malikov, it is your turn.
All right. I'm just gonna continue. I'm gonna continue blasting.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Yeah. So anyway, I started blasting.
Pew.
Where is my spell? Well, I mean, I can. Yeah, sure. No, I'm gonna use this first level spell.
Okay.
I need him to make me a dexterity saving.
Dexterity, not this thing's strong suit.
Zero. That's what I'm talking about right there.
It fails to heave its bulk out of the way of whatever it is you're about to do.
That is 18 damage as I telekinetically pick up a. I'm gonna telekinetically pick up a mug or a bar stool. Yeah, I like that better. A bar stool and just fucking hurl it at this thing, slamming into it.
It slams into the flank, and having already been burned and singed and cut, this thing collapses beneath the blow, and you hear something inside it make this awful cracking noise as one last horrid scream shreds its throat before it
And
goes down.
yours.
And mine. Well, it doesn't hurt me all that bad. Shreds its throat as it goes down and stops moving and begins to dissolve. It is dead.
I maintain concentration Witch Bolt on the spot where dissolved. And deal 12 lightning damage.
The pool of now mostly liquid flesh twitches under the surge of electricity.
I pull. No, I'm not. No, I need to just stop where I am. Chesley wants me to be serious.
I think we have established enough horror at this point to if you want to joke around, you can joke around.
Oh, I pull out some flint and tinder and start trying to set the the corpse on fire with what.
How is that? How is it silly? That seems rather appropriate.
Oh.
It is. It's too wet to do so. Which is
I pour.
always a good thing to describe when you're talking about a body.
It's so moist. So I find no. Well, so has this thing reanimated previously, or is it just one of those things that looks really gross?
It's just one of those things that look really gross. It used, like I said, it used to be Greer, and you can still see shreds of his uniform swallowed up in the flesh, in the pile of flesh where he was before.
Oh, can I see his? Can I see that it's his uniform from where I'm standing?
Yes.
I maintain concentration.
You surge another pulse of electricity down the lightning, which eventually begins to subside as it can't find any proper living thing to latch onto. Aura, seeing
Kill
that
it with
Terrell is
fire.
down, Aura quickly drops the crossbow, pulls out a healing potion from behind the bar, and runs. She floats over to Terrell to administer it.
Oh, he was down. I didn't notice that.
Terrell, I need you to heal 6 hit points. Ouch. 2 1s.
So, how do I feel?
Roll me another Constitution saving throw.
Oh God.
You start to feel better.
That thing was.
Congratulations, you're back to stage 1. Roll me another Constitution saving.
Oh God, why?
Wow, you guys
Ooh.
got diseased and
You push, you bite back the bile rising in your throat. Your stomach has been flexing and twisting, and you felt an uncharacteristic twinge in your shoulders and back, and a pain, as though someone had been squeezing around your neck too tightly. It begins to subside.
Okay. Oof. Oh, that thing was disgusting.
And the last thing that happens to you before this subsides entirely is you cough, and you feel something wet on the inside of your mask.
I will reach up under the mask to touch it and look at what's on my fingers.
Something purple.
yum.
That's
It's a dark reddish purple ichor, or ichor, however you want to pronounce it.
How do you pronounce it?
I've always said ichor, but
Ichor. Ichor is the general consensus about it.
I wonder what the bot on Google Dictionary
Google.
would say.
Google says ichor.
Is there a bucket around here?
you can ask for one.
Am I still in a berserk rage?
No, you were fine.
Okay.
The gibbering has
I was
stopped.
about to finish this motherfucker off.
Wow.
I actually played a little bit nicer with this. Let me show you.
I don't know. There's there for sure.
Mallard babbles incoherently while it can see any creature that isn't incapacitated. Each creature that starts its turn within 20 feet of the Mallard and can hear the gibbering must succeed on a DC 10 Wisdom saving throw. On a failure, the creature can't take reactions until the start of its next turn and rolls a D8 to determine what it does during its turn. On a 1 to 4, the creature does nothing. On a 5 or 6, the creature takes no action or bonus action and uses all of its movement to move in a randomly determined direction. On a 7 or 8, the creature makes a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach, or does nothing if it can't make such an attack.
Oh, so it confused.
Yes. Yes, just flavored for my purposes.
Yeah, Norman is going to ask for a bucket from the barmaid.
Once she's administered that health potion, she quickly floats back over the bar, fetches you a bucket, and says, "Here you go."
And he is going to stagger into this darker corner, kneel down, and proceed to be noisily sick with his facing the corner so people can't make out his face. Because I'm committed to this mysterious bullshit.
Terrell, you consciousness washes back into view for you, and the whole bar has gone quiet. There was nobody else in here when Greer stumbled in, and now lies this pile of quivering flesh on the floor, and Aura is just staring at it. Just, what in the hell? God, what happened to him?
First thing I'm gonna do is take a step back.
I'm like, whoa, Terrell, bro, I'm sorry.
I
I
mean,
was trying to heal you with the healing word, and then something happened. I just had to stab you.
technically, I don't really know what happened, right?
I mean, I don't think I would either, really. I mean, other than the gibbering had something to do with it.
Yeah, Catman, why is your dagger covered in blood, and why does my side hurt?
I just stabbed you. I'm sorry I couldn't help it.
I got nothing.
They call me Stabbers. Just stabbing all the time.
Imolrith will come strolling down the stairs, and I wanted to get a good look at this. What is there that remains? Just like liquidy
Shreds
flesh.
of Greer's uniform that were sort of swallowed up into the flesh, and then a pile of quivering like muscle tissue, semi-liquefied. It smells awful. It is bile prompting how bad this smells. You do your best to sort of bite it back as you approach.
No,
Uh,
I would can if I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but no, if I can, I would just like to wave my hand and cast prestidigitation and make it smell like cinnamon.
Yes. It is done.
Nice.
Thank you. Much better.
What smells like
Wholly
toast?
fascinating.
Aura says, fascinating. He just died. Yeah. Aren't you in trouble?
Oh yeah,
In
that.
trouble.
Yeah, we got paid to make sure he came back alive.
We could finish the negotiations ourselves. He was hopeless from the start.
I hope you're better with words than I am.
And she looks over at Oscar kind of suspiciously. She's like, are you all right? You seemed not yourself.
Not sure what happened. That thing, it was making all the noise and just got caught up in it. And
Can I
like
roll?
said,
Can I roll something to identify what that was?
Sure. Roll me Arcana.
Fuck.
You don't recognize it. It's you don't recognize that particular kind of creature. Obviously, magic had some sort of part in it, but what kind of magic it might have been, and why it occurred is a mystery to you.
Fair.
I was coming down here to investigate it. Could I also get a check?
Sure. On a 15, you are able to identify the telltale signs of transmutation magic. You recognize that transmutation magic typically produces a very accurate scent around its target, and prior to your prestidigitation spell, you might have noticed that scent, and then you, given the way the flesh is warped, you might have put two and two together.
I relay as such to Dorman.
Norman,
yeah.
You've been vomiting. You just kind of get real sick for a second. In the bucket where you have been vomiting is a mixture of purple ichor, some blood, and roll me a perception check.
Oh, I hate these dice.
There's just such a mess in the bucket, you can't really make out anything else.
That's fair.
See, the problem I have with Roll20 is that I can't throw the dice out and get new ones.
I'm going to, once I'm done vomiting, I'm going to move up to put my mask back on, move up to the bar, grab a bottle without a word, and tip it under my mask, swish whatever the contents are for a moment before spitting that into the bucket as well. And then I take a couple of swigs of whatever I just grabbed.
You just grab some ale, some beer,
Cool.
and you swig it down. It's a blonde beer, which is more for me than it is for you because you don't drink beer. It tastes pretty good, especially following the sickly, decayed taste that was in your mouth before.
And I will flick a gold onto the countertop to pay for my drink.
Ara says, do you want change?
Just keep it coming, please.
Sure. You realize I have to get the guards?
Of course.
Just a moment. I'll be right back. And she heads outside to fetch the guards.
As soon as she's outside, Dorman is going to ask, "Do we want to be here when they return?"
I look and say, I'm not. I don't want to come into contact with guards. I'm trying to keep that to a minimum during my journey. That's just a me thing. I don't want to have to deal with them.
If we run, it implies guilt. If we stay, we're at the mercy of it. Oh, God, that's disgusting. Mercy of, their mercy.
Well, if we had actually left a body behind, maybe it wouldn't be so concerning. Only now do I realize the folly of our ways.
Indeed.
If at all possible, I'd like to examine the specimen.
Well, yeah, whatever I just spewed from whatever sickness that thing infected me with.
I'm sorry.
But
Your
I
bucket
just-
of filth?
bucket of purple ichor. That was rather similar to what it looked like. You want a
Before I-
specimen? That's the closest I can give you.
As a matter of fact, as you peer closer to the ruined flesh on the floor, where you can still spot cuts in what flanks remain semi-solid, purple blood has started to seep out.
I'm trying to look up the rules for ritual casting, because I'd like to ritual cast detect magic here.
It takes a while, I think.
It takes 10 minutes for
10
detect
minutes.
magic. It's
And the spell has to be able to actually ritual cast. It'll have it listed as it.
Yeah, of course. but
detect magic is.
yeah. So yeah, I want to. Maybe they did go to get the guards, but I'd like to set up for a detect magic ritual. If they don't come back, or if they do while I'm in the middle of it. Either way, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. You get about 5 minutes into the casting. I'm going to give everybody else. Does anybody else want to leave? Do something different? Gray, what are you doing?
I am up in my room, making sure that the case in my
Say again?
room. Am I lagging?
A little bit. Say it one more time.
Said I'm up in my room making sure the case that's inside my room is secure.
It is.
Okay. With that, he is getting his stuffing just in case there's something else that's going to attack. Attaches the mask to his face and moves. Just moves around and does that.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I guess as a precaution, I'm just gonna touch myself and use the last of my lay on hands.
Okay. All right. About 5 minutes into the casting, Aura returns with the guard you recognize, or one of the guards you recognize from earlier, the very tall man named Reagan. The pair enter the room. Reagan says, "What does it smell like?" Sorry, hang on, I get his voice right. Why does it smell like cinnamon in here?
Better than what it was before.
Yeah. Oh, I hate cinnamon. Right. So what the hell is that? What did you do to that man?
I hand
Says,
5
no,
gold.
it's not. They didn't. He turned into that. Gods. And Reagan comes over to inspect the carnage. Aura moves back behind the bar and begins preparing more drinks for Dorman and looks around. Does anybody else want anything?
While I'm circling this body, like, casting this ritual spell 5 minutes into it, I imagine like I'm pacing around it in a big circle, reading out of my book, which is open in one hand, and making like, wizard incantational movements with my other hand. And what's his name? Reagan?
Yes.
Reagan gets in front of me, and I bump into him because I'm paying attention to my book. Excuse me.
Excuse you. What happened here?
Do you want
I-
the short? Sorry, I should interrupt. My bad.
No, go right ahead, dude.
So I think Doorman will tap him on the shoulder. Continue your spell, please, and look at the guard with his owl mask. The short version is our erstwhile employer came stumbling in, begging for water, then proceeded to turn into a screaming nightmare of terror, which very nearly killed us. We managed to fight it off.
This was
Hey.
your. Wait, this was the man you came with.
Looked like him. Don't know if it actually was him. I guess we'll find out if he comes waltzing in the next 10 minutes. We've already seen one shape changer out in the woods. Wouldn't be surprised to see another.
What is it with you lot from Kirill? You always come into town and make trouble. First it was those damn paladins, and now you.
There's one common denominator with this trouble, isn't there?
What?
Your town.
Reagan puts his hand on his short sword at his side and says, "Are you implying that there's something wrong with our town?"
Implying no, but the evidence speaks for itself. Now, if you don't mind, we have important business to be done with. Leave.
He gets kind of up in your face and he says, "There's one other common denominator. Outsiders. You never should have come here."
Wait,
Hey.
so
Never should have
mind.
come
I'm
here.
not.
Sorry.
Hey, hey. I had it. Never mind. I had something for this. I lost it.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I didn't. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so Dorman stands a bit taller, and I'm actually going to use Fey Presence. I need him. No, there isn't a space for it on my sheet, which is annoying and weird. Well, I mean, there's like an additional features thing, but I haven't written that down. Short version is he needs to make me a Wisdom saving throw versus a 13.
Okay. Did I give Reagan stats? Let's see. I did give Reagan stats. Okay. That, of course, he's whispering his rolls for some reason. I rolled a 16.
Okay. So it does not work then, but still, Dorman stands a bit taller, staring him into the eye, and says, "Yes, outsiders. Perhaps we've finally found a rot that you've missed. Once again, we've important business here. Something you would not understand. Leave."
What happens in this town, on this soil, is my business.
Well, it's a good thing it happened on the bare wood instead of soil.
Do you want to spend your night in a cell?
How much? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, if the only thing that's really different in the town is us, and every time a different person from outside the town comes to the town, wouldn't that and then there's problems? Wouldn't that mean that the town has a problem? I mean, we're the second set of outsiders that have come to this town, and we're the second set of outsiders that have had issues while we've been here by getting attacked by whatever that is on the floor.
No. Nothing like this happened to those paladins. They caused other trouble.
What kind of trouble did they cause exactly?
That's not any of your business.
Well, then why are you trying to lump us in with them?
Because since you outsiders started flooding in here, causing problems, there's been issues. The rot's
Flooding?
not from within, it's from without.
Uh-huh.
No listening.
So, but then how do you get supplies to the town without outsiders?
We didn't need them before.
Before what?
Look at the fields, you pompous idiot!
They don't
The
look
food
like...
grows year-round.
Uh-huh.
The wood grows endlessly. The trees are back the day after you cut them down.
And you don't think that's the least bit odd?
Oh, it is a blessing.
I
It
mean,
is the reason our land is so pure. It is the reason it is such an insult for you to imply that there is some rot here.
no, it could not necessarily rot. It could be a lot of things. Evil takes the guise of good many a times to deceive those with good intent.
Whatever it is, you brought it here. It did not live here before.
Maybe it was here the whole time and you just didn't realize it.
He's getting red in the face, and the short sword has come partially out of the sheath.
I think this is my cue to step in and try to persuade him to calm down a little bit.
Okay.
Now, my good lad. There's been enough killing and Lord knows hostilities tonight. Let's just take a chill pill and let's take a night to think and reflect.
I'm going to give you advantage on that because of what you said. A 15 calms him down, although it doesn't stop him from pursuing his course of action. The short sword retreats back into its sheath, and you hear him. You are not to leave the town. An investigation will be conducted. Miss Tollux, you will be interviewed. This will be sorted out. We'll not have some mysterious murder tainting whatever negotiations you were sent here to complete. Do any of you have any knowledge of what Kirill can provide or not?
Yes.
I want a knowledge history check from everybody on the floor, on the first floor.
Maybe.
Could I make a
Nope.
a knowledge about this creature real quick?
Sure, roll me a knowledge arcana.
No.
You do not have much knowledge of these particular creatures. You do. I'm going to give you that 12. You do know that.
Give me the 12. It's like my second roll is 21.
No, you rolled twice on accident. I'm going to give you the 12 because I'm a kind and benevolent god.
No, okay.
I don't have a complex. What are you talking about? So, on a 12, you can tell, or you can recall that you've heard of this kind of creature before. Madness of some kind combined with some foul magic, overtaking somebody and turning them into what's called a gibbering mouther, a fleshy sort of semi-solid creature that somewhere between a zombie and a slime. It produces a radius of gibbering that can drive people within 20 feet of it mad. This one seems to have been muttering about the bounty, the bounty, the bounty. So, And I'm sorry, I lost track of what we were doing on the first floor. Okay, you guys rolled a knowledge history. Dorman, you are relatively aware of the things that Kirill imports and exports. It imports food, especially lately. It exports things like precious metals, some wood, some unrefined ore. It is especially proficient at providing weapons and armors. There is a healthy smithing industry in Kirill that supplies both the Archons of Light that serve as both the city's main religious organization and military. And it also supplies the local towns around it with weapons in exchange for fealty. So that's kind of how Kirill became a city-state. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And you kind of communicate this to Reagan, and he says, "Then you'll be doing the negotiations."
I look forward to it.
In the meantime, I'm going to send someone in here to clean this up.
Take your time.
If I find that any of you have fled by the morning, we will find you, and we will kill you without further questioning.
I'm sure they will live in fear.
He heads outside, and you hear him outside barking orders to another couple of guards. I'm not going to put tokens on the board, but they come in and they start cleaning up.
I'm so
Whoa,
glad
whoa,
that
whoa.
I managed to pull out Dorman's incredibly obnoxious side.
I'm sorry, say again, someone else?
They can't clean it up. I'm examining the specimen as we speak.
Right. Well, they wait for you to examine it. So
No,
you
like literally, fuck them. As they come in to clean it up, I shove them off and like kick them in the
Hey, what are you
fucking.
doing?
Please back off. I'm doing my
Clean
best.
this up.
This is
Why does
not
it smell
ready for
like-
clean.
Why does it smell like cinnamon?
It's better than the other option. Please leave. There is serious research to be done on.
All right, but it's your head if Reagan finds out.
I ignore them and continue pacing around the body, casting my incantations.
I'm gonna like whisper to Terrell, damn, I didn't know he was so serious about research. But
Yeah, go for it, Popham. Are you talking about in character or just out of game?
Probably out of game.
I'm guessing out of game. Imorith, your spell completes. If you will please click the detect magic spell in your thing so I can see it. So, I'm going to give you something else because you spent so much time studying this thing. Roll me a perception check with advantage. That will do it.
Yeah, thank God.
So, you, having studied this closer, you begin to piece together why it looks familiar to you. The texture and the color of the flesh, that stretched skin over what was heaving flanks of muscle. It resembles the wall in the dream, just behind the child. The aura of magic coming off of this thing is decidedly transmutation. There is a faint orange, it hovers between orange and pink glow coming off of this creature's remaining flesh.
As I come to the realization, the correlation between the creature's flesh and the wall in the dream, my eyes glow wide, and I'd like to think that orangish hue reflects in there in some capacity. But then I turn to the rest of the party and I say, "Look, Look closer. Think for a second.
And I'm not going to make you roll perception checks because you're doing a closer inspection. Everybody but Dorman recognizes the flesh texture as the same as that wall that was throbbing behind the child in your dream.
I say, I've
I'm back.
seen this. We've all seen this before. And I instinctively touch my nose to make sure it isn't bleeding again.
Well, that's an interesting point because I need you to make me a wisdom save. As a matter of fact, I need all of you to make wisdom saves,
You bitch.
except for Dorman.
Woo!
That's one fail.
Ignorance is bliss.
Fuck.
Imarith and Apopham, you take.
What about me?
You didn't have the dreams yet.
I'm also upstairs.
Ouch! You each take 8 psychic damage.
Jesus fuck. What kind of limits are we talking here? Because like we're up there. I'm up there right now.
What does that put you at?
Crazy.
12?
12? Ooh, interesting. Wait, what the fuck am I doing? No, I'm sorry. Fuck.
Nah, fuck that. Can't take it back. No. Do I go crazy?
No,
Am I lost to the ages?
no.
Am I reduced to a gibbering
Mother?
lump of mad speaking or insanity speaking?
No, but on any wisdom checks involving psychic damage, involving avoiding psychic damage, especially in anything relating to the pale child, you have disadvantage.
Sweet.
Please note that on your character sheet.
Do you have a name for that affliction?
The pale child's gift.
That's not incredibly fucking ominous or anything.
Yeah, it's not spooky at all.
I mean, I could have been real mean and called it the bounty.
It's a gift. I mean, it's got to be good.
like in our Wild Mount game. There's nothing wrong with that spider. There's a saddle on it. I thought it was funny. All right. Terrell. Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Everyone was really fucking quiet.
We're really fucking concentrating.
Does that work?
Yes. So, you have completed about as much research as you can do on this thing. You know it was transmutation magic that worked it. You don't know where the magic came from. You know that it's totally dead. You know that while it was alive, it gibbered and ranted. And the only words you could really understand amid those sentences were the phrase, the bounty. And you realized that the texture and color of the flesh resembled that of the flesh wall behind the child in your dream that you had outside of the village.
DM, I hate to do, or I hate to ask this of you, but refresh my memory. What was in the journal that we found off the Nothric? What's fucking Nothic?
I want to make sure. Now, there may be some slight retconning because it's been a little bit, and my notes are a bit scattershot because I've been running this game for 2 different groups. The elf woman was a member of an up-and-coming cult, like a cult that's slowly growing. You might have heard of it a little bit before, called the God Eaters. They took an interest in the religious beliefs of Deek Spend and were working to infiltrate the town and get into the church. They had been performing rituals on the local animals to increase their power, increase their magical abilities. Which is why Deacon scouts were finding mutilated animals closer and closer to the town.
In the woods. Okay, so that's it. The God Eaters were performing weird magical experiments on animals.
Yes.
There was something else. Hold on. Do I have it in my notes? I don't. Shame on me. I'm gonna have to beg Bear for his notes.
What was it again?
The journal, but it doesn't matter. We were suspicious of the church for some reason. There was something about her and the church and something she thought was going on inside, like the actual chapel itself.
Yeah, she mentioned something about how she heard like strange noises or something and had suspicions about sacrifices maybe or something. I can't remember. I know remember we had a long RP session about it.
We may have to refer back to one of the YouTube videos.
Yeah, so we read the journal. It was about a strange magic in Dika's Bend. Their cult was targeting the place to test rituals. They attributed the strange going on to some kind of godly being there somewhere. And the journal notes that she was here to observe and learn about the god. She's been capturing animals for their life energy. We learned it was called Timora. I don't know if we learned anything else.
No, the god was called Ophilia.
Yeah, Tamora is my god.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Somewhere along the line, we heard about Degas Vim as the founder of the town, and he was supposedly the first to meet Ophilia.
I think that was Laura that told you that.
But okay. Either way, yeah. I guess I finish up examining the body, and
How about
there's
this
nothing
time
more
is
to-
when I come walking downstairs?
Can you tell us what people saw when you were out there with your mask off?
Was anyone looking at me?
Was anybody looking at Gray Melikov?
I was extremely unconscious.
I think most folks
We're paying
probably
attention to the Jim Mouther, so yeah. So I don't think anyone saw my face.
Fair enough. Absolutely fair.
So I come walking downstairs with my mask on, and I have like all of my stuff together, like my bag and everything else like that. And I am carrying a chest downstairs, and I place it down on the ground in front of me and sit on top of it. What time is it?
Oh, someone's going to watch the previous recording and catch me on this. I was thinking it was about 8 p.m. when Greer came in. So it's probably about 8:39.
Okay. So the sun is set, and I sit on top of this this chest, and if anyone is paying attention to it, they might notice like it's slightly like moving, like it's like sounds like something's inside of it, but it's slight. And I sit on top of this thing, and I say, "So, does anyone know what that thing was?"
I've never seen anything like it. I've never been affected like that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The information you told me was its name and how it manifests.
Yes, it is some kind of. It's called a gibbering mouther, and you know it to manifest through primarily through a combination of madness and magical corruption.
Okay. And so Hassan says the name of this creature. He says it's, if I am recalling correctly, it is only manifested through extreme madness and dark magics. So, is the guard still here?
The guards have fucked off because Immelroth told them to.
Okay. I'm gonna ask the bartender then, because since she's still here, I'm gonna say, so, what would this town know about dark magic?
She says, I don't know. I've never seen anything like that before. Except, and she looks worried. And she says, can I trust you?
I don't know. Does us saving your life warrant trust?
That thing, the skin on it, the flesh, it resembled a dream I've had once or twice since I've been here. There's always a child in it, and they're standing in front of this wall of rotted skin and flesh, and it's shifting and throbbing, and it's horrifying.
Can I roll a check for something for this knowledge? Like a knowledge of some sort?
I'm going to say no because you haven't experienced it yet.
Okay. Like, I mean, as her describing it, does it sound familiar? Is I get basically what I'm getting at? Like, does my character I mean, meta, but has a history with these type of creatures?
That's an interesting point. I'm going to say roll me knowledge religion, but roll me at a disadvantage because the knowledge of this kind of stuff is very, very limited.
Let's see. It rolls. It's 7. Woot. The first time I roll well, and it's a 7.
This doesn't track with you. You've never heard of any kind of creature or god that not like this, not some massive wall of rotted flesh or this pale child. And there's no gods that manifest that as their avatar that you know of. There's no mythological creatures that resemble just an emaciated pale human child. Not that you can recall right now. She looks at you and she looks anguished and she says, if it gets out, if you tell anybody that creature resembled that thing in my dream, they already look at me suspiciously because I'm an outsider. They look at Maggie the same way. At best, they'll chase me out of town. At worst, they'll kill me. You can't tell anybody what I just told you. But something is going on here.
Who is Maggie?
Maggie was. Did you guys meet Maggie? I think she was in town when you guys initially came back. Redheaded dwarf woman.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Talking to Aura. Aura seemed to have kind of a crush on her.
That's right. Yep. Okay. Yep. I remember that.
Was that Apollo?
No, I'm here.
No,
That
it's like it was
was-
Phantom.
Oh,
Oh no.
well, we'll keep going. He'll rejoin with his internet works. We're getting close to the time. Brian, you've got work tomorrow, don't you, bud?
I do.
So, she says, "There's another thing. I don't know if this is suspicious or not. I can't tell you for sure. It doesn't. It's one of those things where it seemed odd, but it also had a million explanations, so I left it alone. I can see from my windows the town square, and I'm here most of the day. Occasionally, I take a break. Occasionally, I'll take a lunch, whatever. But I'm here most of the day on the bottom floor, keeping an eye out. And if I'm not here, then I'm in my home, which is also overseeing the square. And
It's not working entirely for you? Yeah. No. Delightful. Yep. Shut up. Not you, the cat. You need to
How
reset
come
the
I
router
can't
again?
shut up. Whoa.
Oh, shut up.
We need to talk about the serious cat shade that was just thrown. The like abusive cat tendencies. No, it's okay. Except for the part where you told your cat to shut up.
are we gonna reset the router?
No, he doesn't think it'll work.
Okay.
Don't know if his internet's going to come back up.
Well, we're almost done for the night anyway, just because Brian's got to go to work soon, and this is kind of the main thing I had written for the evening. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Aura says, "So I saw those paladins come into town. There were 3 of them. Two men, one of them a dwarf, and an elven woman. Not, well, half elf maybe. She had dark hair. All of them Archons of Light. And I don't know if you've seen those lot. They're recognizable. It's, all the silver armor with the blue furnishings and the bright blue tabards with the long sword on it, the white long sword. They're recognizable. They stand out in a place like this, is what I'm saying. And I saw them into the village. And I was up the morning I was told they left. And I didn't see them leave. I had full view of the town square. They would have had to go through there to get anywhere but north, and north is not the direction of Kirill. So maybe they went elsewhere. Maybe they decided to continue their evangelism somewhere else. But when they came to town, they seemed convinced that there was some kind of awful heresy going on here, and they wanted to convert these people to their religion. They follow. Oh God, I keep forgetting this woman's name. They follow Saloon. And they thought they could convert us. And they found if they couldn't, I was told they left. But I never saw them leave. And that just seems odd to me.
I'm sorry, spell that god's name and possibly give me some kind of context, maybe not based on that.
Selune is Selune. And she is also known as Our Lady of Silver, the Moon Maiden, and the Night White Lady. She is the goddess of the moon.
Somewhere in the distance, Barrowwith gets a boner.
um, and you would know something about the Archons of Light, having spent some time in Corville. Like I said, they are the primary fighting force for the city. They protect the city from foreign threats, and they have a habit of proselytizing to anybody that will hear them. They are zealots.
They sound insufferable.
They are insufferable.
Immelrith has no need for them.
But Aura says,
Yes, he is, however, intrigued by Aura and her declaration that she's had a similar dream.
And yeah, so what does she say? What do you say to her?
Am I back finally? Okay,
are
You
cool.
are.
Joy.
I guess he closes up his book that he was reading from and tucks it back in his satchel and shoves past Terrell and Dorman and has a seat on the stool. Sits down and he listens to her intently. He's got his chin on one hand, elbow propped up on the bar. It's just fascinating. We've had these dreams.
What?
These paladins you speak of, these dreams.
You've had them too.
I have not.
Not inside the city limits, but on the proximity. On the way in. That was when we found that huge rune, that like that curse rune, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, did anybody copy that down? The actual rune itself?
I did.
Woo! Thank God for teammates. Excellent. Okay, so yes, we've experienced these things. My lady, why not pour us all a drink in celebration? No need for exchange now.
All right. All right.
Oh yeah, no, that was the coin. That was the money. I'm sorry.
And she begins pouring drinks for everybody. And she's poured one for everybody who's downstairs and wants one, and then she's sitting there nursing a beer herself, and she says, "You want to know the truth? I think something happened to those paladins."
I could imagine that.
They seemed, the first night they were here, they seemed really excitable and full of fervor and, everything that you're told the Archons of Light are, zealots. The next day they were grumpy and unpleasant, and they didn't really speak to anyone who at all. They spoke with Decius. They talked with him for a while, and then he told them they should leave the next day, that they weren't welcome here.
Paladin that is happy. That is a rare sight.
Rarer still after they left.
I'm still stuck on those dreams. And Morith asks her, My lady, when did you first start to have these dreams?
The first time was a bit. Maybe a month after I'd arrived. I thought it was just a nightmare, just the product of too much ale and not enough distraction. The second time was about, 6 months after the fact.
So these are infrequent then.
Yes.
And
I always wake up with a nosebleed.
Imarith instinctively touches his nose, under his nose.
There is, in fact, a little bit of blood.
He wipes it between his fingers and hopes no one notices and goes on. You run an absolutely gorgeous establishment here. You must have plenty of visitors. Have you ever heard any such talk? Have you ever heard anybody else having these twisted visions?
No. It was made clear to me very quickly when I arrived that they were suspicious. They don't like outsiders, and I was only here because they needed someone to run this place and make sure that the workers had lunch, and my family owned it, so that's where I was. After a time, they made me feel welcome enough. Some of the workers chat with me, and we establish a rapport, but they implied that I've seen some of the workers beaten for speaking out of line. They don't. It's not deadly, but the town has strict laws about heresy. And so I never really told anyone about the dreams.
How do the dreams and heresy relate?
Anything out of the ordinary, any malady, any disease is treated as an anomaly, I think is the word, as something abnormal, and anything abnormal is seen as heretical.
Such is the way of these rural areas. Are the guards coming to collect us, by the way? Are we leaving? I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're not. I don't think you're in actual trouble. With me on your side, they won't question whether or not you committed some kind of murder. You'll have to speak with Decius tomorrow, but you're safe here for the time being.
We have
I
been
see.
told not to leave,
Okay, then.
however. So we will be stuck here for the time being.
Sorry, what did your character say?
We have been told not to leave, however. So we will be stuck here for the time being.
How delightful. Grabs his the case that he has, this chest, picks it up, and then hauls it back upstairs.
She says, I think maybe we should get some sleep. All of us? I'm very tired. It's been some time since I've had to use the crossbow.
Can I feel kind of bad for dismissing the guards. Can I cast prestidigitation and clean up the pile of molten flesh?
It takes some doing, some multiple casts. of the spell, but eventually you're able to basically collect and then obliterate most of the mess. And the scent of cinnamon lingers in the room. I'm going to do a little bit of railroading because it's approaching 9:30, which is 10:30 for Brian. And Jay. The evening steals on, and you, all of you, eventually head up to your rooms, whether that's for bed or study. Those of you who sleep, roll me a wisdom save, please. Or if you go into a trance.
Or if you go, what?
You're not getting away from this. And yeah, you need to roll this at a disadvantage.
There you go, with
and a risk.
disadvantage.
Oh.
No, not you, Oscar. You're fine.
It should be Apothon too. He had the dream and then took the didn't pass the save.
But it's Apothon at... No,
Didn't-
Apotham's at 9. He's not at 12.
We didn't all take the same damage.
No, Apothon didn't have the same amount of damage that you did.
Oh, fuck him then. Fine.
You have passed a threshold somewhere in your collection of psychic damage. He has
Fuck.
I
Fuck
haven't
him.
taken any
fuck
psychic
you.
damage.
And fuck your psychic damage. And
Yeah.
a 15. I'm sorry.
No, you all pass. The night
Yeah.
Woohoo!
the night passes peacefully. Dorman, do you sleep?
Yes.
Go ahead and pick a room for me, please. Okay. One second.
There is no sleep. There is only Zool.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
I don't wanna. Okay.
That'll do it. You're fine.
I remain ignorant.
Apotham, you take the
That'll
last
do.
bed.
That'll do.
Apotham, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
I did.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
Alex M. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They don't have their tabs switched over to their characters.
Oh,
That's fine.
sorry.
No, you're fine. We're going to stop here. You guys are all fine. The night passes peacefully. Or as peacefully as it possibly can, given what you just witnessed. And we'll stop there. Everyone, please hit the long rest button on your D&D Beyond sheets, or make sure you restore all your HP and spell slots throughout the day.